I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels, but it was probably the 2 best days I've ever had in Nerium as far as training goes. Like, seriously. Like, it was... Anna Woodward is very much a businesswoman. You can tell she wears her business hat all the time. She's not here to make fun, fluffy friends, although she does, I'm sure. But, you know, she's a business person. And so it was great to hear the business side of that and be like, she's just so spot on with her business and how she runs her business. And she was very open book on how she does it. So we wanted to share with you guys some of the things. And then, of course, we got yesterday with David Bird. And we actually saw David Bird cry.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was really powerful. And
why did he cry?
He
wouldn't hug him.
Yeah, I wouldn't hug him. But he shared a story about a lady that had come to NLA, and there's a whole section on writing your vision statement. So take your birthday and write a vision of 5 years from now. What does your life look like? And make it very specific. You know, what is the sun out that day? What are you doing that day? Where do you live? But, you know, whatever your vision is for yourself 5 years from now. And she came up to him afterwards and said, David, I have a really hard time writing my vision statement, and I just don't know if I can do it. He said, why is that? And she said, I have terminal cancer. Yeah. And he said, well, you came here today. You know, so, I mean, here's a lady that has terminal cancer, and she gets on a plane and goes to Leadership Academy. And he said, you're here today, and how are you feeling? She goes, I'm feeling pretty good. And he said, well, you know, both of us can get hit by a car leaving this hotel. So I'm just going to encourage you to, you know, to write your statement. And he said, at the next Leadership Academy, the same woman shows up, and she walks straight up to me and shows me that she has written her vision statement. So, you know, doctors and, you know, your will and God's will are a lot stronger than any expiration that a doctor gives you. So, but to see David Bird cry, and he didn't cry for just a second, like it was, he had a moment. We all had a moment. So, it's nice to see that everyone, you know, in our company has such a good heart. So anyway, we're just going to share with you our biggest takeaways. I think each of us took 50 or more pages of notes, so it's going to be hard for us, but we're just going to run through and tell our best takeaways.
I don't even know where to start. Hi. I think one of the best things I learned was to slow down to go fast, which we've heard, but you know, you have to hear it a different way a million times. So Anna talked a lot about exposures and about she's not in a hurry to get someone, and that was really important for me. I think that, you know, if you are following the product prospecting wheel with piquing someone's interest, giving them a tool, following up, 3-way call, we expect to have an answer, right? Well, some people aren't ready, and she really pointed out that we don't want them to be ready quickly. Because if people sign up quickly in the first through the fourth exposure, they're probably not in this room right now. It takes most business people, they need to do their research, they need to take their time, they need to be courted. It's kind of a dance. So exposures 1 through 4 with people, you are getting to know them. It's not about you, it's about them. Be interested in them. Mirror match them. Have posture, have confidence. She said it's not being, it's not ego, it's not being snooty, but, you know, if they're a business person, be business-like. If you're meeting someone for coffee, don't have your iPad set up and a bottle of Nerium and a magazine. And I'm like, I've done that, you know, not recently, but I've done that, you know, so be business-like. If you don't want them walking in like you're going to attack them on the business, like you're meeting them for coffee, sit down and get to know them. If they're, you know, if they're sitting like that, sit like that. You know, if they're engaged and talking to you, just mirror match them and get to know them and build that relationship. So exposures 1 through 4 are them building trust in you to find out if they like you. So be likable. Finding out if they have trust in the company and trust in the product. That's all your goal is in steps 1 through 4. Steps 5 through 8, that's when you're going to get the commitment from them. And so don't be in a hurry to get someone, get them signed up, get them to order. Even she is an expert. She explained one time she went to a sit down and that, you know, she's getting to know this person, talking about the opportunity, and the brand partner's like getting out an application link. and hand it to her, and she's like, put that away. Like, you know, even Anna at that point is like, she could have got him to sign up right there, but it's the dance, it's the courting. So she's always in a hurry, she's got somewhere to go. You know, I want to respect your time, I've actually got to go, but, you know, we'll talk in a couple of days and we'll see what you think. You know, because that makes them want her more. And Jeff Olson actually did that to her, which I thought was really, you know, she thought that Jeff would come and like try to get her from this other company, and Jeff doesn't play like that. He's got posture. He's a businessman. He knows it's a dance. So he just was like, we've got this. If you're interested, you know where to find us. See you later. You know, I mean, it's posture. So I think for me, that was just a shift in my mind of not being in such a hurry to get people signed up, not being in such a hurry. You know, it's all about timing. So just slow down a little bit and know that it's a dance. Keep exposing them, quality exposures. And that's the other thing. We are looking for quality people. So when you're doing your 2 a day, make them quality exposures. Don't throw the car in the convertible next to you, or throw the magazine in the convertible next to you, right? Don't throw a tape on the ground. Don't throw a CD at somebody. Get to know someone, make a quality exposure, get to know them, and then do the dance. So that was one of them.
You can clap for that if you want to.
I think one of my big takeaways was the fact that sponsoring up versus just going out and trying to find somebody, you know, and really digging deep and figuring out who I know that is a business person and who I know that they may not be interested, but who do they know that might be interested? And I think a lot of times we just, you know, we look at them and we have that fear that we can't go approach them. But when we know that we've got an upline that will help us with that, one of the things they talked about too was the fact that if you're doing a sit down and you're doing a coffee and you've got your upline there to help you, if it's going nowhere, your upline has someplace else to go, and just release them and say, gosh, I know you got another appointment, you know, and thank you so much for stopping by, and, you know, we're going to just sit and, you know, drink another cup of coffee, rather than having them stay there with you for another, you know, 30 minutes where they could be helping someone else. So that was kind of huge. And then one of the things they talked about was the 3 facts. The fact about the company, we're $1 billion revenue, and the fact that for product, we were number 1 in Inc. 500, and the third one was we have over 500 6-figure income earners in less than 48 months. That's huge. If you're talking to someone that is a business person, that's going to make a big difference for them.
Yeah.
So, lots of good notes from this, and I can't wait for all of us to be at an NLA together, because you can ask all of us. We have just a book of notes. So, a few of my favorite takeaways. Anna started off by sharing with us that you can be somebody who inspires or somebody who motivates. If you are a person who is inspiring, then your team is accountable on their own because you've inspired them. Anna Woodward inspired all of us, and we're not on her team. So she's inspired all of us. So we are now accountable to ourselves, and there's no one that needs to push us. We have accountability because we were inspired. If you have motivation, on the other hand, then that requires energy. And if you have the need to feel like you have to motivate someone, you are giving your energy, and it's not in a positive way. It's not being received in a positive way. You're pushing them. So be of the mindset that you want to inspire someone. You want to inspire someone to the opportunity. You want to inspire someone about what the product can do. You want to inspire someone to build their business. So that I thought was fabulous. One thing that she said over and over again was you need to learn how to find people to talk to, and then learn how to talk to the people you find. So if you're talking to a stay-at-home mom versus a business person versus a healthcare professional, you need to learn how to talk to the people you find. We all get communication received differently. And then one of my manifestations that came, if you will, from being a part of the company is we all know about our affirmations and how vital they are to our winning the head game, as David Bird coached on. Something I would encourage all of you to consider whenever you are in the presence of leadership, whether it's on a Nerium University or at a regional training or you're at a conference. I don't know where this came from, but I noticed that I was doing it, and then Amy Curla was sitting in front of me, and I caught that she was doing it, and we didn't discuss this. So I don't know, Amy might have been doing this for years, but what I did was whenever I heard a nugget and I wanted to keep that and not forget it, I wrote an affirmation on it. And I just wrote it on the side, a completely different piece of paper. So I've been to a lot of conferences, and I walk out of the conference and I'm like mentally exhausted because I had 30 or 50 things that I want to immediately implement. And I'm like, how am I ever going to remember all those? So just in 5 hours, I wrote 11 affirmations. So about every 30 minutes, I got an affirmation of what I wanted to apply and not forget and retain. So if that's something that you guys ever can relate to when you walk out of something and you have a whole handful of information and you're like, how am I going to remember to do all these things? Then consider writing an affirmation on it, saying it daily and owning it, and that way it never leaves you.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, I would love to give you an example. One of my examples was I use my personal system of management. I wear my helmet. David Bird referred to his book, the leadership book, he referred to it as a personal system of management, and that is your helmet. That's what protects your head. It keeps your head in the game, and affirmations are part of that. I always hit a 20% fast start qualifying goal. I drive interest in my business with no less than 10 people at all times. I add people to my boat monthly. I consistently plan my day before my day begins. I get outside my comfort zone to develop my business, be it in a business group, at an airport, etc. I choose every day to do this. Those are a few.
I've recently done with my affirmations because I had, note cards. I write this kind of stuff everywhere. I'm obsessed about taking notes on books I read, but same thing. It's like, what do you do with it? And so I read them and recorded them on my phone, and then I play that in my car. I play it for my husband. I play it for my kids, and they think I'm a total dork. But that's okay. I play it for my roommates. 15 minutes. Yeah. No, I'm sure that happened for you.
Still 15 minutes.
But then it gets in your head, and it's your own voice, and you're hearing it. And then it's in you, and then you find yourself saying these things to people. And if you want to get it in your heart, it has to go from your head to your heart, right? That's a great way, is to write it down first and record it, and then listen to it.
I recently found the recording. I started out my year with that. So if you have a smartphone, who doesn't? Okay. If you have a smartphone, there are apps out there for affirmations, and you can record them, and it will let you record. And then, mine has a pop-up reminder, and I need to reset my times. I confess that it was popping up at the wrong times because I wasn't able to do it. But it'll pop up and say, remember to listen to your daily affirmations, and you can tell it how many times you want it to pop up on your phone to remind you to do it. So, yeah, the technology is out there for that to take place.
Can you post on Facebook the app you like?
I've only had experience with one, so I will definitely share what app I'm using, but there's a lot of them out there, so find the one that fits. So, yeah, I can do that.
It's just a voice memo on your phone. That's what I use. Record.
Well, it's not that I didn't take any notes. It's just that I would be buried in them trying to figure out what to say. So, no, like that. Well, we had, 18 to 20 hours of just nonstop information. It was phenomenal. So some of my takeaways were Anna was talking about we when we came into this business, and especially for newer brand partners, we sat down and did a fast start game plan, and in that game plan we told you to go out and get a list of at least 100 people, and then we would try and get your first 10 in play, that type of thing, and sort them. But Anna said that what we need to do is to assemble their team before they get started. And in other words, instead of just getting 100 people, get their 5 most important contacts, and that by that I mean they're most intelligent, they're most entrepreneurial, they're most successful people that they look to and say that would be, and in other words, your chicken list. So you get those 5 people, then you write them down, and then you just go through frog on them. I mean, with your new brand partner or your prospect, and you categorize everything about them. You know, are they married? They got kids? Where do they work? What do they do? How old are they? Just all the information you can. What are their hobbies? What do they enjoy doing? And so, how do you know them? You just get all of that information, and what happens is that by the time you finish that with the 5 people, they have seriously got 5 Class A prospects that they know how to approach. And so instead of just trying to fast start qualify with 3 people, we're going for 5. Because I don't know about you, but my first 3 people weren't the ones that ended up being my first 3 people. I just thought that was very, very powerful. I even asked her if it was something we could do before a prospect signed up, that it's something that could sit down and do, and she said absolutely. So, for what it's worth, I thought that was really good. Another thing, everybody knows I'm a numbers guy. So she did this thing about 2 a day. And we've all heard 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. Okay, we've all heard 2 a day, 10 a week, 40 a month. What we haven't really heard that much about is if you do the 2 a day, 10 a week, 40 a month, you get, there we go. Somebody took notes for me. You end up with 40 of your own prospects, and if you have a 30% closing ratio, that's 12 brand partners in a month. I mean, I don't know about you, I would faint if I ended up with 12 brand partners next month. Well, then you start month 2. Now you've got 13 people because you're going to try and get them to duplicate this. So if they do the same thing, then in the second month you end up with 156 brand partners on your team. And in the third month, again, you got 156 doing it, you got 1,884. And I think it was the 4th month, there's like 17,000.
I like what she also said.
Yeah, and then if you have a 90% failure rate, you still have 1,700 people on your team. Now, everybody goes, well, that's all well and good. It's just numbers. You're throwing around things that's been around forever. But the fact is, it is duplicatable. The key is to get your people to do it. And so, and then you talk a lot about that. The last thing I wanted to bring up that really impressed me, I did not know. We launched in Korea, and within the first 30 days, Korea had generated an IMD. That just blew my mind to go from 0 to a $750,000 bonus in less than 30 days. It floored me. And then she explained how they did that. Because we're going into all these countries, and all of us are basically a Mark Smith when it comes to a new country. We all have the same opportunity to build an entire country. And so what they do is they get a person that's going to do this thing, and they take our comp plan and they just maximize it in advance. And they don't just think about it. They literally draw out their tree to an nth degree. I mean, there may be 20 or 30,000 people at the bottom of this thing. I mean, I don't know how many it takes to get to be IMD, but it takes a whole heck of a lot of them. And they actually have names in every one of those slots. And then when they pull the trigger, boom, just like that, there they go. If you think about that, that is a phenomenal way to go into another country, is to find one person that will start visualizing their team and putting names in, and then getting those people to put their names in, and et cetera, down the line. And that will generate huge teams in other countries. I don't think I need to talk about this. Barry said my voice carries anyway, so. Okay, well, that's all what I got.
All right, but like they said, we have like 50 pages of notes. One of the things I think I took away mostly was you have to be a student of the industry. So, 90% of the time you're working by yourself. So it's it's up to you to be accountable for yourself, to learn the industry, to learn about network marketing. Also, she really, Anna Woodward talked about the comp plan. She goes, I have that comp plan with me all the time. I carry it with me all the time. And she said, know your comp plan, but your belief in the company, your belief in the comp plan is what really fuels you. So if you have a disbelief, and you may not think you have a disbelief, but think, if your business is not moving in the right direction, that means that you don't believe in something, whether it's the company or the product or yourself. So you have to work on yourself, and that was her main thing, work on yourself, whether it is one of those three things. That was one of my biggest takeaways. Also, we're selling a lifestyle, so when you're talking to somebody, use other people's stories. I know we've heard this a lot, but it really does make a difference. And she wasn't always using her stories. She was using other people's stories when she was talking to us. So use other people's stories that can relate to the person you're talking to. So if you know you have an appointment, and you kind of know about that person, find a story that's going to mirror match them. And then she talked a lot about mirror matching, so that you're not talking above them to something that they don't believe in. Like, you can't go up to a stay-at-home mom and say, do you want to make $1 million a year? They may not believe in that. But, an extra $500 a year, and if they heard a story of a stay-at-home mom that was making, or $500 a month, that was making $500 a month, they would believe that, and could be like something that they could accomplish too. So I think that was one of my big takeaways, was just believing in the industry, the company itself, believing in the company, because we have the best leadership, we have the best products, we have the best service, and the best growth. So there's nothing about our company that anybody else has. So I have people on my team that have left to go to other companies, which I don't know if anybody else here has ever had that happen. But what I say to my team is, they get discouraged. They go, so-and-so left. And I'm like, well, good. That's more room for the rest of us to, I'm glad they're out of our way, so we can build build your team with those that want to build teams. But I encourage them not to get disappointed, because they are in the best place. And we do have the ebbs and curves and ups and downs, and I think we're going on an uphill. Yeah. We are.
One thing I wanted to share was that she said that 10 years ago she got involved in multi-level marketing in another company, and it took her 9 months to get her first partner in the business. 9 months to get her first partner in the business. She said she wasn't coachable. She did not believe in the system, the multi-level marketing in general. She missed her first conference, and when all of her friends were at the first conference, can you hear me? Yeah. She got to thinking, here I am, I got baby food on me, and I'm with the kids still. I didn't want to leave the kids, but wouldn't I be serving my kids better to be at the conference building for them, instead of the same thing I did yesterday and the day before? I'm kind of paraphrasing, but anyway, I just thought it was really powerful that here is this woman, and we're talking about she's the best of the best, and 10 years ago, took her 9 months to get a brand partner, or whatever you want to call it. She also said, here's the other thing about Anna Woodward that I was very impressed by. She chooses her words carefully. She has a great vocabulary. She says things like, this is the opportunity of our generation. She says words like exquisite and brilliant and exclusive. We need to build those things into our conversations especially if we're going to be talking to, if we're sponsoring up to people that are wealthy or super successful. It was just so motivational to hear her talk about it. Like she said, $1 billion in 4 years, patents. We have Inc. 500. We're the number one product. She said that's her number one thing she likes to tell people, is that we're number one in consumer products and services. Incredible support team, tools, rhythm, market parties, beauty bloggers are talking about us. Our leader is Jeff Olson, 500 six-figure income earners in 48 months. And she's like, nobody, we have to get this, she said. Nobody else has this. This is the time. We have to do it now. And so it was just really powerful how she drove that home, that Jeff says it all the time, we're sitting in seats that no one else has ever sat in before, but the way she uses her words, she says, practice in front of a mirror. She says, practice your presentation. So I thought that was really good. Going around again?
Yes.
I have a guest chair now, and if you could also implement a little bit about why our Nerium is so great.
Sure. Welcome. Jose, nice to meet you, Jose. How old are you, Jose?
27.
27, that's amazing. What do you do for a living?
Work from home.
Work from home? Okay, great. How do you know Lynn?
Bumped into her at Kansas City Record Club.
Well, you bumped into the right person, my friend. Okay, so you've heard a lot, obviously, about good things about our company. One of the things that we talked about this weekend that for me kind of took me back a few years. A lot of people in the room had small children, and like Michelle said, they spent a lot of time on time management and how to, be balanced, and how to not to feel guilty. And I have just always been a mother that never felt guilty about being awesome. And Connor can tell you that I've done a lot of things in my life, but I've never quit wanting to be better. If I'm doing something that I don't feel is bringing awesome into my life, I move on to the next thing. And I don't think that that's weakness. I've never seen that as weakness. Hopefully he hasn't either. But then it brought me back to how Nerium is different than all of the other things that I have done. And since I have been in Nerium, I have taught my son how to dream bigger. I have taught my son how to not live in a box. I have taught my son how to be strong. I have taught my son how to look up. I have taught my son to be limitless. And I have no regrets about that, and I have no apologies. So. I know that sometimes building your business, building your empire takes time, that you need to think about, why are you doing it? Why do you have to lead? Why do you go and do what you do? And I am so grateful for all the people that came to NLA with me, that took time away from their families and made the commitment to do that, because it was a life-changing week for sure. Anna her whole talk this week was about an eagle. Every single day, and several different times during the day, she referenced eagles and how that relates to us as leaders, and how that relates to us as who we are looking for to come into our business. She said, always be looking up. Don't be a pigeon, be an eagle. So don't be down there picking up crumbs off the ground. Be soaring. Be looking for the people that are successful. Be looking for the movers and the shakers. Don't be looking for someone that is laying on the ground picking up crumbs. I mean, yes, we want to help people, and yes, there are people that can definitely benefit from our opportunity, but they at least have to have their hand up. They at least have to be bobbing their head up above water saying, save me, save me. Don't go get someone who's laying at the bottom of the sea giving up. Those are not the people that we're looking for in this business. We are looking for the people that want to go somewhere. And that doesn't exclude anyone. That doesn't mean they have to be at a certain level of intelligence or a certain level of income. But they have to have a desire. They have to want to come into this business. She doesn't chase anyone to come into her business. She has a posture like no other. Seriously, no other. Her and Jeff Olson probably, maybe Mark Smith, but I've never seen posture like on a person like Anna has. She knows where she's going. She knows she has a great thing. She knows her products are amazing. She knows her comp plan, kicks you know what. But so, and David Bird said yesterday something that I loved, and he said he was talking, agreeing with Anna about that, and he said Jesus changed the world with only 12 people. And then he just sat there and he stared at us. Imagine if you just had 12 eagles, what your business would look like. 12 people that are 10 core committed, 12 people that are in it to win it, 12 people that are not going anywhere. Imagine the things that you could do. Imagine the world you could change. Imagine the lives that you could change. Imagine the women you could empower and the men you could empower. And it just really made, he's like, Jesus had a lot of people to pick from. He only picked really 12. And he said Jeff Olson started a company. He didn't go out and just hire some people. He went out and hired the best people. And so when you're thinking about building your business, that's what you need to think about. Are you finding the best? Or are you just trying to get someone to sign up? So that was awesome. If you guys have a pen and paper, I want you to write down, just take 1 minute, take 60 seconds to write down 3 obstacles that are holding you back from where you are right now to where you want to be. You guys have at least 3 things? Yes? Yes. Okay. Okay, now ask yourself, are any of those things out of your control? Is that an eye-opener to most people? So you have it in your control. A lot of you just said, no, they're all in my control. So you have it in your control. Why are we not controlling it? If we have something that we can control, we should be able to control it. And we should, if you don't have the answer, reach out to someone who is controlling it. I love how they said that, find someone in your upline, your sideline on Facebook that's in a mentor somewhere. Somewhere in this room, somebody wants to help you. Someone's already been through that struggle. Find whatever it is that's holding you back and read a book about that. Look a video up about that. Talk to Jen about that. Talk to Michelle about that. Talk to whoever. Talk to the person next to you about that. But if you shake your head that there's nothing on your page that's out of your control, then you can find how to control it and move past it. So I thought that was really awesome. Last thing is find people that are in the boat. So on your team, go through your team and look for people that are in the boat. And the qualifications for being there's 3 types of people in your organization. The biggest group of people are going to be the doc people. Those are the people that are just talking about it. Like they're in the business, but all they do is talk about it. I want to do this, I need to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to show up at the market party Wednesday, but oops, I didn't come. Those are people that are on the dock. Those are the people that you love on them until they love themselves, but you spend the least amount of time with those people because they're just on the dock. The second group of people is a smaller group of people. They have 1 foot on the dock and 1 foot in the boat. So when you get ready to take off with your boat, you're not really sure if they're going to hop back on the boat or they're going to hop back on the dock or they're hopping in the boat. So those are the people that, you want to spend a little bit more time with. Maybe those, in my opinion, you can correspond those people to like middle management in a corporation. So those people, they have potential to go up, But right now, you're just really not sure. But if you cultivated them and you worked with them on their strengths and really worked with that person, that they could be in the boat, or they could want to get in the boat. And then the third smallest group of people that you have, they have both feet in the boat. They've got their life jacket on. They got their koozie with their drink. They're ready to go. Sunglasses on, sunscreen on. They're ready to go. Got the helmet on. But those, and they said, in reality, that's about 3% of your organization. But that's okay. You only need a few. You only need a few people that really, really want this to make a huge amount of money in this business. So find that 3%. Run with them. Teach them. Just say, okay, we're going to have a mission right now. From here until St. Louis, each one of us 3 presenters are doing our 2 a day. We are doing our 10 a week. We're doing our 40 a month. And we are getting our Class A prospect list. And work with that 3%. Lock arms, like Michelle said. Lock arms with those people and don't stop until St. Louis. And they said your business could change dramatically. So just find that 3%. So do you guys want to do some questions and then we can...
Going back to that list of 3 that you wrote down, your 3 obstacles, Raylan addressed part of it by saying, what are you in control of? But the other side of it is, what are you not in control of? If you have something on your list that you're not in control of and you're focusing on that, you are to cross it off. By David Berg. He said, cross it off, because you're staying in a status of worrying about when that's going to happen and you're not in control of it. Right? So how many times do you want somebody to do something, but you're not in control of that? So cross it off. So I just wanted to add that real quick. Yes, that's good.
Amy, will you share what you shared in the senior director meeting about what qualifies a Class A prospect?
Yeah.
And,
so David Bird really talks about Class A prospects, and for some of us that might be a new concept, but these are the people that are interested in the business. So he gave 3 criteria that can kind of qualify those people. Number 1, you've talked to them about the business. Number 2, they have indicated to you that they're actually interested in the business. So it's not just that you hope that they're interested in the business. They have to have said, yes, I'm interested in your opportunity. And then the third one was key and new for me. If they have to be less than 60 days old. So if you've been talking to them more than 60 days, they are not your Class A prospect. They are not ready. You can put them on a drip list and, touch base with them whenever they say they're ready. Check in with them, but they are not your Class A prospect. So that was really key. And she had some great verbiage I wanted to share too. I think everybody's always searching for those words, so coming straight from Anna's mouth. This was a Facebook text that she did to someone. It was like the brother of one of her best friends, who's a businessman. So she just wrote, I've got an opportunity to run by you. You've always struck me as entrepreneurial. And I have something I would love to have you look at. Would you let me buy you a coffee or a beer next week? Slow down. Okay, I'll repeat all that. I've got an opportunity to run by you. You've always struck me as entrepreneurial. I have something I would love to have you look at. Would you let me buy you a coffee or a beer next week? I promise I won't waste your time. So did she say anything about Nerium in there?
Yeah.
Did she say anything about, I have the best product in the world, makes your skin look amazing, I want to show you 30 before and after pictures, here's a webinar, here's an opportunity video, let me know when you watch it? No, because she has posture. So I thought that was really good. Other questions for anybody? Or in general? John wants to talk.
Yeah. At some point, can you talk about prospecting up? Instead of I think Pandora talked a little bit about that before, but so I didn't interrupt. John, go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to talk into this. Well, another thing that David Bird really talked about was actually a couple things. But first of all, he said this is a people business. It is not a product business. So many of us are out there and we're just trying to get preferred customers. That's our mode of operation. He said that that's all well and good, and certainly preferred customers become brand partners. He said, but it takes 1.5 years. That's too long. He said, we've got to go after brand partners. And in conjunction with that, the two most important things are Fast Start Qualify and new brand partner. Those are the two most important things for building your business.
Okay, since we have a lovely guest here, we have just a few more minutes before we need to clear the room and get ready for the regional, but let's go just say what you like best about Nerium and why why at this point in your journey are you happy that you joined this company?
I didn't hear you. I can't hear you.
She wanted to know what we like best about Nerium and why. What is it at this point in our journey that we like that what keeps us going?
Yeah.
This weekend had a whole lot to do with that. Obviously, I have had no. I love Nerium. I've got my own product story, but this company is giving me the opportunity to create a legacy and a retirement that I did not have the opportunity for prior to, because I was self-employed and I spent everything.
For me, when I got started with the product. I was not interested in the business at all. Had no desire to do another one of those things. And I fell in love with the product, but more importantly, I fell in love with the family. Nerium is my family. So...
I got started for the business, not the products. I was really glad that the products worked and had a ton of science behind it. That was a bonus. But I got started because I saw successful people I knew having fast monetary success. I wanted to continue to be a stay-at-home parent to my 4 kids, and what it means now is all that and more beyond my wildest dreams. It's happened faster than I thought it would, and slower at points, the income, the residual income for not having to go out and work for it. You work for it once here, and then it continues to come as long as you stay plugged in. And the positive associations and the personal development that it's given me, it's completely changed who I am. It's completely changed what my family is going to be like, and it's given us an opportunity that I don't think I can even fathom, even in my 20-year vision plan, what it's going to look like after I've been around Anna.
I got into the company when the company was 7 months old, and like Amy, I'm business minded, so I wanted to know about the comp plan. I wanted to know about how much money that I could possibly make here, and I was hoping that it was true. I sat in your seat at one point, taking in a lot of information, and I was hoping that all these people that were telling me this were not lying to me. Because, you have that, you go through life and you're so young, but I wasn't so young, and I was always looking for that one thing, wow, that one thing that comes into your life that could possibly change your life. And every single day, I've been in this company almost 4 years now. Thank you, Mindy. And so I'm so blessed that Mindy told me about this. You should be so blessed that you ran into this woman, because every day that I'm in this company, I have more belief in the product, more belief in the company, more belief in leadership, more belief in myself, and more belief that everyone can do this. It doesn't matter who you are. You can do this if you have the desire to change your life.
I know that God designed me to be wildly successful.
Yeah.
And that I can make a huge impact on this world. I've always known that. The thing is, I keep getting in my own way. And I look at these people that jump onto other companies, and I think, if you don't choose the company that's first at this, biggest at that, youngest at this, best at that, this award, that award, this award, board, that board, I know I have the opportunity of this generation. It's the vehicle to get me to be the person that God designed me to be.
Yes.
Okay, everything they just said, that's what I was going to say. But I do have one thing, and seriously, everything they just said is what I was going to say. But one thing Anna said was, that I've got a big star next to it. She said, hands down, the toughest day in Nerium is better than the best day working for someone else.
Amen. Amen. So we need to clear the room now, and we'll get ready for the regional. We'll get back in as soon as we can. Thank you, guys. Good for you for showing up